Air travel is undoubtedly the safest means of transport. However, air travel is expensive given the cost of constructing terminals, runways, procuring radar and weather equipment, and the high cost of acquiring aircraft. In spite of these, air travel can be considered an investment that is well worth the price, as air travel brings with it a great potential for economic and infrastructural development. In view of this assertion, it is noteworthy that Kwara State has remained one state in Nigeria that is taking advantage of the unique opportunities that air travel and the aviation industry presents. Given its strategic location as a gateway between the northern and southern parts of the country, coupled with ample land for expansion, the Ilorin International Airport has all it takes to be developed into Nigeria's aviation hub. The Kwara State government, having identified the potentials and opportunities for the state, has taken corresponding steps to position the state at the heart of Nigeria's aviation industry, transforming it into a hub for the aviation industry in Nigeria and indeed beyond. With a thriving international airport, the path to achieving the goal of making Kwara State a hub took a giant leap with the construction of a cargo terminal at the airport, which when fully operational will no doubt spark a cargo revolution in Nigeria. The cargo terminal was strategically built to serve as choice destination for cargo products bound for the northern part of the country, as well as export products from northern Nigeria to other parts of Africa. The terminal is a twin-chambered facility with the export and import sections boasting 1,260 cubic meters capacity each, and fitted out with a cold room for cold and wet storage of goods. It is noteworthy that the cargo terminal was instrumental to the importation of special breeds of cow herds and other materials by the former Zimbabwe farmers in the process of relocating to Shanga Farm in Kwara State. The siting of the International Aviation College in the city of Ilorin to juxtapose the international airport and the cargo terminal was yet another strategic step in the direction of making Kwara an aviation hub. Up until recently, there was a shortfall in skilled personnel in the Nigerian aviation sector, as the only aviation institute in the nation became grossly inadequate to meet the rising demand in the sector. The International Aviation College was the answer to this dilemma.
The vision of the visionaries and the vision that we've been following of this college is to make it a manpower resource center whereby we build skills and to tap into the hub Kwara State is going to become as an aviation hub. By providing skilled manpower. We started as a pilot training. We'll be doing engineering training. We'll be doing. We have started the flight dispatcher courses and all other aviation related courses. And what do we do? That is to build the skills and the manpower required for what Kwara State will become, I'm telling you, in the next 3, 4, 5 years.
With increased demand for pilots owing to growth in the sector, the establishment of more aviation training schools in Nigeria and the West African region became imperative to train professionals in various sectors of the aviation industry, including pilots, cabin crew, air traffic controllers, and engineers.
I chose International Aviation College Ilorin because it's one of the approved training organizations for aviation training in Nigeria, and because I was also referred here by someone in the Air Force, a senior officer in the Air Force. So that is why I chose International Aviation College Ilorin.
A passion to fly aircraft. And at the same time, we have new department in FRSU, we call it Area Surveillance Department. We cannot do it with vehicle, we cannot do it with bikes, we have to do it with the aircraft. I'm from Kebbi State, and it's my local government that is sponsoring this program. And the name of that my local government is Koko-based local government in Kebbi State.
The college boasts of modern state-of-the-art training equipment such as flight simulators, a library and computer room, amongst other requisite facilities managed by highly qualified and experienced class and flight instructors.
Well, looking at other aviation schools in Africa, I compare the aircraft they use. We have a Diamond 40 aircraft and Diamond 42 aircraft, which is very good, and it's a good global standard aircraft approved for training. And we have simulators, 2 rooms for simulator trainings, but the main simulator is for particular training, the training program, while the other simulator which we have here is just to prepare you ahead of a flight. Most times when you have a flight ahead of you, you come here to practice for that particular flight you have. And other things, the flight instructors are well trained, they actually give you the best you have. So definitely the facilities are of global standards, the qualities are of global standard, this training is of global standard. Bristol Helicopters Nigeria Limited. Sponsoring.
Okay, I see International Aviation College Ilorin in terms of facilities. The facilities here are world class of a global standard, and also in terms of the curriculum is well aligned with the standard curriculum for aviation training for the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority training. And also in terms of safety, there's a safety culture which we abide with here, which is one of the things that makes me comfortable in Aviation College Ilorin.
We don't judge ourselves, but we knew that what the visionaries of this college, the owners of this college put in place is beyond anything you can find anywhere in Nigeria or sub-Saharan West Africa. That is for sure. Is it equipment? Is it the type of classroom and the type of equipment of the classroom, or the standard of our instruction and the standard of our delivery of training? Our aircraft, I'll start with our aircraft, is one of the most modern aircraft in the world in terms of trainer aircraft, which is called the Diamond aircraft. We have the single engine, we have the twin engine. These aircraft, they are glass cockpit aircraft, whereby they have Garmin 1000 and glass cockpit. From 0 hours, a student flies in a modern aircraft like you find in any modern jet, and so nothing will scare him. So the equipments are there, and those are the things that put us apart. And where we are located, so Ilorin here is a central part of Nigeria, whereby is it peace you are going to talk? We thank God we have peace, and Nigeria will have peace in general. Is it the weather you are going to talk? We have a good climate weather for flying. Is it the airport, whereby we have the Ilorin International Airport, whereby is second to the Lagos in terms of the length of runway, is second to Lagos Airport. In fact, it's an alternative to Lagos Airport, whereby it can accommodate 747, and we are not so busy. So we have the whole place to ourselves. We could fly as much as we could, day and night, 24 hours. And those are the things that put us aside.
At the moment, the college has 4 Diamond aircraft in its fleet, with more due for delivery.
All right, demo aircraft is, when it comes to maintenance of demo aircraft, avionics-wise, the kind of system we have here is just like that of your computers, because we have what we know as Garmin 1000. This is the latest technology on any airplane, whether Airbus, Boeing, or any bigger airplanes. So if a pilot is being trained here, he will be able to incorporate into the market easily. Maintaining this aircraft, you have to be well trained before you can maintain our fleet. It's not like a common fleet where you could just finish from your aviation school and you start maintaining. You need to go for type course on this airplane, because it is normal, it is a bit bigger than the ab initio thing, because the Garmin system is new technology and only few training school have it installed on their aircraft. You see, one good thing about the engineers we have here is all aircrafts that we fly here are being maintained by our own indigenous engineer. We don't need to take any of our airplane outside for any major job or smaller jobs. All of us are well trained on this aircraft, so we do a lot of work on our own: engine change, propeller change, airframe overhauls, and other things. We do them in-house here in Ilorin.
Certain places does not have the capacity to maintain their fleet. They have to send it to an AMO, that's approved maintenance organization, to maintain the airplanes for them. But we have the capacity to maintain our airplane. That's why we are all trained by the manufacturers of the airplane.
We work basically on the engines and the airframe of the aircraft. So it's amazing here, and we enjoy doing this work. In life, you just have to be determined, and then you decide to pick a challenge. I decided to pick the challenge knowing that aircraft maintenance engineering is not an easy task, but I feel I can do it, and with God's grace, I've been able to do it.
The pioneer pilots from the college graduated in December 2013, receiving their commercial pilot licenses, multi-instrument rating certification, and their wings after completing the standard pilot course. More pilots have been graduated since that time.
I'll probably say that the Nigerian Air Force, I'll start from the Nigerian Air Force. They have given us students, 25 officers to train. We have graduated 11, which is the first batch, and submitted it to them. They are happy, they are licensed pilots. We have the second batch of 14, that is Nigerian Air Force. We have had Bristol, we have had a relationship with Bristol, whereby they bring in students for their foundation training, and we have individual Nigerians and some state government sponsoring students. We have had a collaboration with NAMA and doing one training or the other. We are working with the Nigerian Navy. Nigerian Navy has visited us twice. We are working on them to do a foundation training for their personnel, and other organizations too that are coming to talk to us, and state government.
The Kwara State government, under the leadership of His Excellency Alhaji Abdul Fattah Ahmed, is not sparing any efforts in putting Kwara State on the fore of the aviation industry in Nigeria, as plans are already underway to buffer up existing facilities and expand the capacity of the International Aviation College, which is presently at the core of its strategic blueprint for actualizing the Kwara Aviation Hub.
45 pilots that have gotten commercial pilot license from inception, and we are less than 3 years in the industry. Our courses average between 14 to 18 months, as per the requirement of the curriculum of the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority. We have had several PPL. PPL is just 6 months to 1 year course, depending on the weather, depending on how funds are available to you to pay for your training. So we have had over 70 private pilot license holders, including those people who continue to get the commercial pilot license. Then we have the SP5 now in the class, and still almost finishing. SP5, we have 3 or 4 civilians inside them, plus the Nigerian Air Force, they are 18 in the class. We have SP6 who are flying now. We have the SP7, they are flying, and the newest in that came in is SP8. And as I told you earlier on, we were starting our flight operation dispatchers course, and we've been talking about it all over the place.
In further recognition of the strategic infrastructural development at the Ilorin International Airport, The Nigerian Air Force is also taking advantage of the enabling environment to site the Air Force Training School in the state, which is built to take off soon. The International Aviation College Ilorin enjoys strategic partnerships with private organizations and government institutions such as the Nigerian Air Force, which send their staff and officers to be trained at the college.
I believe we have consolidated. We not fully consolidated, but we equipment-wise and instructional skills and requirement, we have consolidated. So now it's now to start branching into other fields that we could do, and those are the things I told you: the aircraft maintenance engineer, technician's course, flight operations course, cabin crew, and those are the other supporting services apart from flying that you could do.
Part of the blueprint for the aviation hub includes making it possible for planes flying the international route to offload passengers at the Ilorin International Airport, from where passengers can take connecting local flights to their final destinations in other parts of the country. This will no doubt result in a boom in trade, as well as the siting of aviation and other related services opening up shop as a direct result of the aviation hub.
If Ilorin is a hub, that means things can come in and go out from there. And let's look at it. Let me even look at the cargo, because you give it to Senator Bukola Saraki, and recently with Governor Abdul Fattah Ahmed, for the vision of building this cargo terminal. It's a thought, it's a belief. Have you ever gone to Lagos by road and see how many trailers go into wharf and come out? A trailer from wharf to Ikeja to where the toll gate can take 4 hours, 5 hours sometime in Lagos. Is that to go in or come out with goods? If those goods are perishable, what do you think? Not to talk of it has to come from there to Kano, to Sokoto, to Birnin Kebbi, to Mina. But when you have a hub at Kwara, the tomato grower in Lokoja or Yauri with his onions in Jega, they can bring their ships, their trailers, less distance. The aircraft will be here for export. Fly it out or pick it up, and tell me which one is easier for you if you are coming from Sokoto to pick your goods in Lagos or to pick it at cargo terminal in Ilorin. Why are we called Kwara Central? Lagos is full and accommodated. It's so full. But if you have this hub as Kwara, a lot of things can happen in aviation. I'm just talking about goods now and exports. Likewise, people too. You can make Kwara as a hub to go into other places in Africa, and West Africa particularly. But when we are looking at what I believe that will help Kwara develop and other places to have less time in goods and services, is having the cargo terminal in Ilorin, whereby goods can go into interland faster and better.
In making this a reality, the Kwara State government, under the leadership of Governor Abdul Fattah Ahmed, is putting in place infrastructure and other facilities needed to achieve this within the next 5 years.
This school is key into that idea of making the hub within Kwara. We are going to start flight dispatcher course, which is flight operation officers course. They are operation officers whereby they do the clearing, assisting the pilot to depart from an aircraft from point A to point B. Now we are going to do a technician course. It's not a license course, but a technician is more like a mechanic who is working under the tutelage and guidance of a licensed aircraft maintenance engineer. Are you following me? And the Kwara State government is assisting the youth of Kwara and any other Nigerian youth who wants to buy into this. Recently, you must have heard Osun State is going to make a maintenance hangar at their airport. they should come here. We'll train their technicians, we'll train their youths, they are unemployed, to be technicians, so that people cannot come and take their jobs. So are you seeing the axis? Are you seeing the arrow? Because there are limited schools in this country that could do so much. You cannot put the pressure on one school that's been there for over 40 years. There needs to be diversification, and that's why a lot of people are going outside. I think the time and the reason why Kwara State put this college in place couldn't have been better and couldn't have been the better time than now.
Building an aviation hub is a Herculean task which requires huge investment in infrastructure and equipment. However, Kwara State, under the visionary leadership of Alhaji Abdul Fattah Ahmed, is taking it in stride.
People should not be discouraged that, to be a pilot is expensive. We don't have to be. Not all of us can be pilots. Just like now in aviation, you could be a specialist, like we are talking about flight operation officer's course, which is the flight dispatcher. Governor Abdul Fattah Ahmed, whenever you talk to him, what can we do for the youth? How can we assist them? What can you create? What does the industry do? And we are there to advise him. And one of these reasons is when I talk to you about the technician course and the flight dispatcher's course. A graduate now finished, he's offered maybe 30,000, 40,000 naira for a job. I guarantee you, if he becomes a flight dispatcher and licensed by the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority when he finished the training and do the on-the-job training and gets his license, there's a tendency you get between 100 and 150,000 naira as a startup salary, and that course is less than 8 months. So what are the youth doing? Take advantage.
There is no gainsaying the fact that there is hardly any other state in Nigeria, and indeed the West African sub-region, that can lay claim to the institutions, facilities and personnel that Kwara State currently enjoys and boasts of in the aviation sector.
I hope to see myself flying for a commercial airline, or if possible an helicopter company, because I like helicopters. Even my colleagues, they know me for that. I like helicopters.
Yeah, after my course in International Aviation College during here, you will find me flying Federal Road Safety Corps aircraft for area surveillance patrol and the search and rescue operations.
I see myself using the skills, the talent, and the safety culture which has been imbibed in me here to move in the labor market and to be able to impact positively as a pilot in airlines, and to be able to, in other areas apart from aviation, other areas such as discipline and other cultures which have been imbibed with me here. I would also like to use that as a means of being a better person in society.
I think the Nigerian Air Force, let me start from Nigerian Air Force, which is a course 4, the last to graduate. They have observed all their pilots, and they have immediately, it's just like water and sponge. They suck them in. You will see a few weeks or a few months ago, you will see it in the newspaper whereby the former chief of air staff was putting wings on their shirt. Immediately, they were calling me, oh, guy, I've been posted to Benin, I've been posted to Kaduna, I'm doing ground school for this type of aircraft. Immediately, because there is a need for them. And if they are not qualified, they will not, the Air Force will not even, they've been monitoring us. Now that is course 4. Course 2 and 1, because of the lull in the aviation, all of them was virtually absorbed. Some of them are Enaric, some of them was Aero, some of them are Bristol helicopters, some of them with Aero helicopters. One of them is in Shell internationally. So they are engaged.
With this in place, it is safe to project that Kwara State is well on its way to achieving the status of an aviation hub in Nigeria and the West African sub-region. Kwara State, it's good here.